Hi, Professor. Thank you so much for giving me time to talk to you about my history lab. There have been a lot of enhancements and improvements to the MyLab over the years, but this year I'm really excited about some new features we have in writing and critical thinking activities. But before we get into that, I do want to point out some things that we've really done because we know in order for instructors and students to have the most positive experience and to get the most out of our MyLabs and our mastering products, that we need to provide the learning opportunities and the support that you need when you need it. So the first thing I want to point out is that I know you know this, but there are MyLabs and mastering products being used all over your campus. Your students are very familiar with the Pearson programs, and MyHistoryLab works like most of the other programs. And we've really gone to great lengths to make sure that the portal experience, the launching page for each program, looks like the other programs. So the students would come to MyHistoryLab, and you would come to myhistorylab.com, and the tabs you'll see across the top would be the same as you would see in MySocialLab or MyPsychLab. The content within the tab would be different. So I want to point out two tabs in particular, and that's the Learn About tab and the Support tab. We're going to talk about those. The Results tab is also important for you, the instructor, because it's going to talk about real situations where instructors have used MyHistoryLab in particular and had amazing results. And so their efficacy results and the case studies are provided there, so you can take a look at that. We also have a community tab, which gives you an opportunity to hear from other people that are passionate about using the MyLab and have had a really good experience. But let's go take a look at the Learn About tab. So we're not going to have time to go over all the features, but this is a one-stop place where you can get a snapshot of each of the features of the MyLab. And you see we have a lot of them. Most of these are going to be student features, but there are some instructor features as well. And this isn't really a training site. It's meant to be more of an introduction to each one of these features. So we don't expect that you use all of the features. We want you to be aware of what they are, and then, my recommendation is each semester you try something new. Maybe you start with one or two things your first semester. You make sure to require it for the students and make it part of their grade. And then, if that's something that works out well for you, you keep that and you move, you add something new. Or if that doesn't work out well for you, you find something else that fits into what your goals and objectives are for the course. There's definitely something for everyone here. I definitely don't recommend doing everything at once because that can be a little overwhelming when you're new to using, both the technology and the program. So the other that kind of leads us into the support, and of course I'm always here to help, but I'm also on campus quite a bit, so I want to make sure that you know what resources you and your students have that you can get to immediately if you need help. So under the support tab, we have both training and we have technical support. So we've got information about getting started, both for students and educators. Top questions that students might have about using the MyLab, and the very important 24/7 technical support. Because we want to make sure that if students are having technical problems, they're contacting us, not you. They can contact us in 3 different ways. They can call, they can email, and they can chat. Over here for you, what I really want to point out right here is this training tab. So this is just a quick overview. I know we only have a few minutes to talk, and so I want to make sure that you know how you can get some real training on how to use the MyLab. And most of these training opportunities are about an hour long. So chisel that out. It will make all the difference in the world with your experience with the MyLab and your students' experience. So this is definitely one of the areas that Pearson has spent a lot of time on this past year, because we know how important it is for you to get started on the right foot. And we also know that there's a lot of people that are using the MyLabs that want to learn more. They've had a good experience and they want to learn how to use other features and see how other people are using the MyLab. And so this is another reason why we've really amped up our training site. The first area that I want to point out is the self-paced training. And in the self-paced training, there's different levels depending on if you're a beginner or someone that has used the MyLab that wants to learn more. This is going to be a self-paced training on the computer. You kind of do it on your own time. You take as long as you need, and you do it when you want. The live online training is basically a webinar. You're on the computer with either an instructor that has used the MyLab extensively, or it might be a Pearson professional that is doing a very thorough overview of the MyLab, and you get to interact with them. You get to ask questions, and that usually takes about an hour. The in-person training, this would be something that we could do if your department is planning on using a MyLab. We can come in and actually do a training for the whole department. And then we have step-by-step tutorials, and that comes in beginning level and intermediate level, and pretty much everything that you need to know about using the MyLab. We also have How Do I videos and the interactive training guide where you can get most of your questions answered. So as you can see, we have an abundant amount of resources here to help you get started. And what's nice about it is, obviously there's only one of me. This is a way that we can multiply our training and also make it convenient for you and your colleagues to do it when and how it's convenient to you. So that is a very, very important tab. So we're going to go ahead and sign in. I'm not sure if I mentioned the browser tune-up. I actually do want to point this out because it's 90% of the student issue complaints or technical issues that we get, and that is has something to do with their browser or their pop-up blockers. So you notice here that I need to download Adobe. I can click here. I'm good to go on my pop-ups. I'm in Google Chrome, which is supported, and I have everything else I need here. For the essence of time, I'm going to take my chances on not downloading Adobe right now. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Actually, I am signed in. Your students would have a single Pearson account where all of their courses would be listed here. I'm going to go ahead and go into my history course. And again, we remind the students about the browser tune-up. They have to do this, and you have to do it for any device that you're accessing the MyLab on. So it's important enough that we've put it in more than one place. So we don't have a whole lot of time left, but I do want to point out a few things. On the left-hand navigation bar, we have all of the features that we described on our portal page. And anything that has a clock next to it or a TV with a slash, those are instructor resources. The students can't see that. You can edit and manage this navigation bar by adding content areas, by hiding content areas, by reorganizing the content areas in the order that you want. It's totally flexible and customizable. And I point that out because MyHistoryLab isn't just a learning resource with content for your course. It's also a built-in learning management system, and it has a lot of flexibility for you to use it the way you want to use it. So you'll notice here that we do have an e-text and audio support for the book. The students can choose to get MyHistoryLab with their textbook in the bookstore, or they could purchase MyHistoryLab on our online purchase option if they want to just go digital. The e-text is totally interactive, so they can highlight and they can take notes. And we have a Pearson eText app, which is available for most devices, definitely the iPad and Android devices. So a couple of things that seem to really be resonating with history instructors. I want to start here with the writing space. So the writing space is a new learning feature that is really getting people excited because, as you probably know, writing is a great way to show your understanding for concepts, and it's a great way to foster critical thinking and higher order learning. The problem is American history instructors oftentimes have a lot of students, and so making a writing assignment to students can oftentimes be logistically challenging because you don't have the time, opportunity, resources to grade the papers. So we have two different kinds of writing assignments that you can choose from. The writing practice, click here. The writing practice is pretty exciting. So this is actually an auto feedback assignment. So these areas here are where we have prompts already built in, and students will write in a writing space. They get a prompt, they get all kinds of writing resources, and then they are able to respond to that prompt and submit it and get automatic feedback within seconds. That automatic feedback will give them feedback on different, it's a rubric that gives them feedback on different aspects of their writing. And it also gives the instructor the ability to see that feedback and to change a score if they want. Instructors love it because it automatically goes into their grade book. They can review it, approve it, and move on. If that doesn't appeal to you and you are more interested in grading your own papers, the writing assignments actually will allow you to use our prompts and our resources, but you would actually grade the assignment yourself. And you can edit the rubric, and that's a lot more flexible. The writing, the writing practice is pretty rigid in the sense that in order for the auto grade to work, the prompt is not editable, and neither is the rubric. So it's nice that you have the choice of both. The third kind of writing assignment actually allows you to create your own prompt in your rubric and be able to give your own personalized feedback. Students also get the opportunity to turn their paper in through Turnitin and get the get the feedback related to plagiarism detection, and you have the flexibility to turn that on or off. So the addition of these writing resources is a real enhancement that I think that will really improve the student's learning experience and give you an opportunity to assign writing where you haven't been able to do it before. And one other thing before we part ways here, there's so many things I could show you, but I do want to point out, because I was just showing this to an instructor yesterday and she was very excited about it, and that is my history library. And these are the most commonly assigned primary source documents in one place. Students are able to access these documents, also listen to them, and they can annotate, highlight, and take notes in the documents. There is no other publisher that offers this